This did nobody ask, did nobody check him for no steroid? I said, he had quick hands, he would hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then...
You think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroid.
What I'm talking about is, Canelo. Steroids.
Responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for Clenbuterol.
Boxing legend Evander Holyfield has stirred the pot by raising concerns about Canelo Alvarez and potential steroid use. With tensions already high before the Canelo versus Terence Crawford clash, Holyfield's bold remarks have sparked a wave of controversy and speculation through
greatest Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which including him, so he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
While Holyfield stopped short of directly accusing Canelo, he has long been vocal about the need for harsher penalties for fighters who test positive for banned substances. Back in 2018, after Canelo's positive test for Clenbuterol, Holyfield suggested offenders should face jail time, declaring, "These people should be in jail for 30 days.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called Clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally, cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take Clenbuterol. Problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with Clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use Clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has also criticized what he sees as a double standard in boxing regarding steroid use, particularly in Canelo's case. Mayweather argues that while some fighters are heavily scrutinized, others, like Canelo, get leniency because of their star power and marketability. He believes this damages the sport's integrity and allows certain fighters to dodge accountability. For Mayweather, PED use is not only cheating, it's dangerous and a direct threat to boxing's credibility.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
It's been proven.
Yeah. Oh, Canelo. Oh shit.
This been proven.
Okay.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you're eating steroid cows. Okay. Man, these boys kill me.
Recently, David Benavidez publicly accused Alvarez and his entire team of using steroids. He questioned why Canelo would avoid fighting him if he was truly confident, especially given the number of positive drug tests linked to Canelo's camp. Benavidez went so far as to call Canelo's team dirty, citing repeated doping scandals.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for Clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off of steroids. Everybody else that he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought, what the f is his name, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like, he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off Clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he was off Clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed he was
guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people. They said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat the whole.
Eddie Reynoso's gym, Canelo's training base, has been under intense scrutiny due to multiple doping allegations involving its fighters. Critics point to several athletes from Reynoso's camp who have tested positive for banned substances, which has raised serious questions about the gym's environment and oversight. As Canelo prepares for his showdown with Crawford, observers are watching closely, particularly given his rapid recent physical transformation.
Addressed serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for Clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for Clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Many boxing experts note that gaining large amounts of muscle naturally in one's 30s is extremely difficult. Canelo's visibly bigger and more muscular frame in recent years has fueled suspicion, especially in light of the doping history surrounding Reynoso's stable. With multiple fighters from the camp failing tests, the legitimacy of Canelo's transformation remains a hot topic of debate.
Muscle as if I'm juicing. If for a 30-year-old, right? You remember, your body grows. Men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length in your mid 20s. You know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan revisited Alvarez's past failed Clenbuterol test and discussed the ongoing chatter about his physique and performance. He stressed the importance of transparency and upholding the sport's integrity. These discussions have reignited fan skepticism, with many seeing the latest allegations as unsurprising given Canelo's previous PED suspension. For some, this is simply history repeating itself.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it, he's pretty much a billionaire. He has access to everything.
Despite the controversy, Holyfield has openly praised Terrence Crawford's skill set, especially his power and versatility. He marveled at Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances, making him unpredictable and forcing opponents to constantly adjust. Holyfield compared this adaptability to life's constant need for change, calling it a defining strength in Crawford's arsenal.
Going left-handed or right, how do you deal with someone like that?
Well, I don't know. Did nobody switch up on me a lot? So it's hard for me to say, but I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always gonna be the difference between how far you gonna go.
And this is the last one, because I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You know, you were a smaller guy and you almost beat, a lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does the small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson Fury?